Well, let me just say good day first. I'm from Australia, and we take things pretty relaxed most of the time. This whole event has been really quite remarkable and very inspirational. I have a big secret. I think I'm probably one of the luckiest people ever. Really. I feel the luckiest person on the planet. I've been fortunate enough to spend most of my career working with children. And in that interaction, I've had a really fantastic time. At the same time, I've also interacted with a lot of their parents and with a lot of other fantastic teachers and colleagues. In all that experience, I came to this kind of very strange idea about learning. And it kind of links into everything that everyone's been talking about today. I think the first thing I should say is that I had a whole PowerPoint organized, and I had the first slide up, and I had to go talk to one of my ex-students. And I said to him, I'm not sure what to call the title of this talk. And he says, well, why do you call it something like Lead Me If You Can, from one of the movies that he saw. And I really didn't know what to say about that, because I thought it was about me. And it's really talking about you. So I thought, no, I don't want to go that way, because I'm a teacher. My whole aspect of teaching is to try to get the focus on me so that I can teach you. And I realized I've been doing that all my life. I try to get everyone to focus on me so they can actually get an understanding of what I'm trying to do. Each of us is doing that. Everywhere we go, whatever job we do, we're trying to get the focus on us, because we've got ideas. We want to share those ideas, and we want to, in our own way, make this place that we live a better place. So I was really intrigued by all the different speakers and the different perspectives. And I realized that with learning, it's about the sharing. And if you've got the possibility of being able to share with someone else, then you can do many great things. I brought these props along because I thought I might need them to inspire you guys. But actually, I don't think I need to inspire anyone in this room at the moment, because I think all of you are inspired by the opportunity to listen, to talk to other people. And I think that's what my classroom's a bit like. And I think that's what the workplace should be like. It's important that you share your ideas with your colleagues. If you're a leader of a big organization or a very small organization, it's important that you actually talk to the people in your teams. Just like I talk to my class, I talk to my students, I talk to the parents, and I talk to other leaders within my organization. 99% of the time, what I will say is very likely to be forgotten. 99% of the time. But I do get the opportunity to bump into a lot of students, ex-students, and they say to me, oh, Mr. Law, I really remember that time when you stuffed up that demonstration. I go, oh, great. That's really good. And I really remember that time when you fell over chasing after that student. As to why, I can't remember why I was chasing the student, but I do remember falling over. And the number of times I've said to myself, well, did you learn anything from me? And they said, yeah, I learned a lot. I learned a lot by just the fact that you cared enough to ask me questions. You cared enough to actually listen to my answers. See, the secret to learning is not about all the worksheets and all the PowerPoints. It's not about the tools that I have. I can use these tools. I could teach you guys a whole bunch of physics and chemistry and biology, and it'll be really fun. But this is really the wrong environment, in a sense, because I can't get to share it properly with you. I can only give you a few words and a few ideas. For every young person out there, I suggest that you think about becoming a teacher. I don't mean that as necessarily as a career. I mean, just go out there and spend some time with other people. Share your time. Talk to people. Give yourself an opportunity to not only help someone else and teach someone else, but also learn from other people. Because whatever you got is powerful. For the people in the workplace, whether you work in a really huge organization where there could be thousands of people, everyone is a part of something bigger. And I think every small job that you do, whether you're the cleaner or whether you're the secretary, is important. And as a teacher, I know that because I treat every one of my kids as if they were my own. And I don't mean that just as someone who wants to be a parent or as someone who just wants to be in charge of something. I'm saying that as a human being because I've listened to this group of speakers, wonderful speakers, and I keep hearing about the words like community, and I hear the word about games, and I hear about fun, and I hear about play. In fact, all of those things are really about what humanity is about. It's about the idea that as each of us go through that life, that journey that we consider to be our life, we interact and we play with other people, and we share those ideas, and we create, and we innovate, and we inspire, and we motivate. It is just right now in this room about all of us coming together, not just because we have commonalities, but we also have differences. And we should also be able to learn from those things that are in common and the things that we have that are different. So if you want to talk about the secret of learning, I don't actually have a PhD. I don't really make a lot of money. And we can ask my wife that, she can tell you. But if you look very carefully at your own experiences in life, there are many moments where you're really, really happy. And I'm pretty sure that those happy moments came about because you had an opportunity to share an idea or share an experience, and you learned something from that experience. And for me, that's what I try to do in my classroom. I try to create an environment where I can share ideas, and the kids can share ideas with me, and that I can show them that I care enough to listen to them, and that there's opportunities to ask questions and answers within the context of the subject, but more importantly, it's the experience. And whether you're playing games, and I have to admit that before I came here, I was actually playing a game called Dishonored, not that I'm advertising. And it was a lot of fun for me because I totally relaxed, and I was totally very clear about what I wanted to say. And then I got here, and I listened to these fantastic speakers. And then I realized, well, actually, I've changed my mind again. I changed my mind again and again because that's what life is about. We have to be flexible and adaptable, and we have to be able to role model that to not only younger people, but also role model that to the people that we share our lives with, whether they be our parents, whether it be our boss even. I think it's important that we all have the opportunity to take what's very special, maybe hobbies, passions, and talents. In my case, it's golf. And I might actually end up talking this entire time, and I'll never even pick up my golf clubs that I brought all the way through from my place. But the important thing is not whether I actually use the golf clubs. The important thing is whether or not you guys have actually understood and shared that experience with me, which is there moments of happiness right now that you can remember? And what was it about? Why do you remember those moments of happiness? Because that's really the critical key. Whether I teach science or I teach maths, whether I'm the boss of a big company or I'm the person who's cleaning the toilet, it's irrelevant. Because we're all human beings. We have the opportunity to share our lives. And we have the opportunity to take ideas. If you want to be successful, I don't think we can measure it in terms of how much is in the bank account, or how many cars we drive, or how many holidays we've been to. I think we can only look at our success based on the number of lives that we've touched in some way. I think that's where the real reward is for us as human beings. So when I go into my classrooms, when I talk to parents, and they say to me, why is it that the kids really seem to enjoy your classes? I'm not really sure why. All I can say is that I give them an opportunity to talk to me. I give them an opportunity to ask questions, and I listen. And I think that's probably just a little example of what I'm trying to explain here, which is a community, a caring community, there's your power. As human beings, there's your power. As people who are designers with technologies and innovators, that's something you should aim for. I think that's where the real dream for all of us comes from. So, with 8 minutes to go, I think, I better do something with my gloves. Basically, what I try to do with my lessons is I try to make it as interactive as possible. And it's not necessarily just using a whiteboard or a worksheet. I think it's important that children have props, things they can hold on to, things they can see and touch. And in some ways, I remember speaking to a friend of mine who's a businessman, and I said to him, what is it you guys do? And they said, we do this, this, and this. And it was very technical, and I kind of fell asleep halfway through the conversation. And I woke up, and I realized, I've been really rude. I haven't been listening. And then I sort of stopped him, and I said, look, why don't you just show it to me? So he took me for a drive, and he showed me his factory, and he looked around the place, and I thought, wow, that's really cool. I said, why didn't you just show me this before? Why don't you just take me out and show me around? And he says, I don't know if I really want to show you this stuff. I thought you'd be bored. And I said, no, man, that's the way we learn is by doing things. So when I say to people, strangers, and they say, oh, what do you do? And I say, well, I teach. And they say, oh, what do you teach? And before I can say what I teach, they say, I really hated physics. And I go, right, okay. And what did you like? And they say, oh, I really like art, dance, and sport. And it's a shame, isn't it, that if people had actually taught, and I mean taught, that is to share and to ask questions, give opportunities for people to listen to answers, then maybe people wouldn't think that physics is so boring. I mean, right now I've got a putter in my hand, and I tell the kids that, hey, this particular tool, I can do lots of things with it. I can crack nuts with it. I can break windows with it. And the kids go, wow, that's really cool. And of course, that's my way of getting their attention. I better show you a slide at least, because I've got the first one. I think that when you want to do anything with people, you need to capture their imagination. So one of the things I like to do is... Oh, it's gone back. Thank you. Thank you. So what I'd like to do is I like to try to imagine how they're going to be in that particular situation when I talk to them. So I try to think of maybe some things about color, something about the music, something about action, body language, and voice. So there will be times when the kids will walk into the class and I'll be playing K-pop music. And they're like, this is weird. I'm in a chemistry class and the teacher's playing K-pop. Maybe it's a new Infinite song, I'm not sure. I just put it up randomly just to see if they listen. And that gets their attention straight away. And this is even before I start my chemistry class. So they're all kind of sitting there and they're all chatting away. And then what I'll do is I'll take some kind of color. Now, I might flash up, let's say, something really bright and orange. And the orange is simply just a signal. It's a visual signal, just to get them going, oh, okay, I'm here now. Now, I will sometimes, not have the time to organize that. So I'll just basically come in and I'll just start shouting. Say, listen, be quiet, hands up, hands down, sit down. And that's the action part. That's where the use of body language and voice is very important. If you're in a corporate situation, I don't think you can run into your boardroom and start throwing up yellow signs and blue signs. I don't think you can really sort of like throw a tantrum in front of the team. But I think you can design opportunities within your meetings where you can be a little bit creative to get people's attention first up. Because you can imagine if you're sitting here listening to me for the next 2-3 minutes, if I don't capture imagination, if I don't capture your ideas within the first 30 seconds, I've pretty much lost you. And the rest is just kind of like body language, nodding, yep, I agree, boss, yes, yes, and just copying things down. You walk out, you think, wow, that was a great meeting. Everyone was listening. And actually, they haven't done anything. And I've felt that before because I've done it with my students where I thought, oh, it's a great lesson. I spent all this stuff doing a great PowerPoint, 32 slides. Count that, 32 slides, right? And I ask the kids, what did you learn? And they go, a lot. A lot. And I give them a test, 2 weeks later, and it's like, wow, you guys learned nothing. It's my fault. It's my fault because I didn't think about what it is that they need. Because I didn't share. So, part of the secret of learning, I think, is to keep it simple. It's very, very important that you give people a chance to ask questions. It's very important that you also provide some questions to stimulate that learning. I like groups. I really like groups. And pictures, diagrams, photographs, all that kind of stuff. It doesn't matter if it's a classroom. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in a coffee shop interviewing someone. It doesn't matter if you're in your office, at home. It doesn't matter where you are. You've got to be able to stimulate that part of the person's mind, or your own mind, in fact. Quite often, I'll play 2 or 3 games at the same time, simultaneously. So I'll have my mobile phone playing my game, and I'll play my PS3, and then I might, be playing with my putter, with the golf ball. And it does sound very strange, but believe it or not, the kids can do even more than that. Kids today can multi-skill like you can't believe. Probably the final thing I want to say before they knock me off, because 18 minutes is too short for me, because I usually take about 2 hours to explain things. Give kids time. And you can just substitute the word kids for people. Give people time. Everyone needs time. Time to think, to write, to talk. I think it's important that you give people a chance to have a bit of fun. And I know meetings don't always sound like they're a lot of fun, but I do try to make my meetings, because I lead a small team, and I often say to them, what is it you guys want to do today? I don't really want to just impose myself onto them. So, with children, but I think also with adults, there's got to be an opportunity to play. Play with ideas. Play with their understanding and their sharing. So I'll stop there before they kick me off. But hopefully, after that very short, brief talk, you might walk away and start thinking about those happy moments that you've got and how you can use them in your life, both at home, with your friends, with your family, and also at work. Because I think the workplace should be a fun place. It should be a place where you can really do a lot of learning and a lot of sharing, hopefully. Thank you.